Capstone project is. It is the culmination of all of the amazing work that you're doing here at Doral College. The interdisciplinary nature of the Capstone project is exactly that. You're going to be using different disciplines from the liberal arts degree that you're going to be earning, culminating into this one amazing research-based project. The interdisciplinary capstone project can take on many different forms. The most popular capstone project format is an original research paper. But in the past, we've also had individuals create a business plan, create original works of art, create original novella, or compose music. So there are different, but the most popular one is a research paper or a scientific experiment. No matter which one of the capstone projects you choose, there is going to be a research component as well as a manuscript that's going to be accompanying it. So if you choose to do a portfolio of artwork, if you choose to do a business plan or compose an original score, there is still going to be that written manuscript component. You're going to be doing all of this with a faculty mentor, and I'm going to get to the faculty mentor, choosing a faculty mentor in a couple of slides. But you're going to be working very close with this faculty mentor in producing drafts, with figuring out your ideas, narrowing in on a specific topic. You're going to be working very closely with the faculty mentor, and they're going to be your guide. So you need to incorporate at least 2 different disciplines into the capstone project. That might be art and psychology, it might be business, law, and ethics, but you need at least 2 different disciplines that are offered by college. You can add an extra discipline that we don't currently offer, that's in addition to already.
So from those, you can pick psychology and economics.
Okay, so this is a list of the different disciplines that you can pick from. We have 5 different categories, if you will. So scientific, philosophical, social science, historical, and literature. So from those, you can pick psychology and economics, for instance.
Oh, whoops.
You can pick.
Sorry.
You can incorporate more. Of course, we would love to see you incorporate as many as you wish, but the minimum is 2. So these are the requirements for the capstone project. The topic is up to you, but we do ask that it is groundbreaking in some way, that it is new, that it's novel, that it's fresh, that it represents an original piece of research. We don't want to see the same old topics time and time again. We don't want to see, the tried and true. We don't want to see any of that. We want to see something that's new, that's innovative, that's groundbreaking, something that is truly unique. So your thesis must be specific and narrow. And it needs to be something that is testable if it's a piece of scientific research, or something that is contestable if you're doing something in terms of analyzing a piece of literature or something like that. So it has to be something narrow and specific so that somebody can argue for or against. The thesis must be in some area novel and original. I saw some of you in the topic exploration doing things like, I want to do a paper on First Amendment rights. I want to do a paper on sex education. These are fine topics, but they're so broad and so nebulous and so vague that it really doesn't lend itself to this novel and innovative component. If that's something that you feel passionate about, if that's something that you're interested in, pursue it, but narrow it in on something very nuanced. Narrow it in on something very specific, very unique to you. So instead of saying, I want to look at the benefits of sex education, maybe look at that inside a specific community or with a specific demographic. Put a new twist on it. Put something uniquely you, something really different in that project. The thesis must add a new perspective to the existing literature. The bulk of your manuscript, the bulk of the paper is going to be a literature review. But towards the end of that literature review, you need to funnel it into something new, something creative, that you're adding something to the existing literature. You're not just summarizing it. We don't want to just see a summary. We want to see you. We want to see a little something different. The thesis must be contestable. Again, if you're writing a scientific research paper, then your hypothesis obviously needs to be a testable scientific hypothesis. If it's something in the literature or arts, ethics, law, it's going to be something that you're going to have to argue. And make sure that you're not setting up your argument to be something circular, that you're not setting up a straw man argument or using any sort of logical fallacy. The thesis must be clearly defined in all parts of the capstone process, starting with your proposal, in the manuscript, and in the oral defense. One of the issues that came up last year was that we had several students that when they were giving their oral defense, they weren't giving us a specific thesis statement. They were talking in generalities, and there wasn't anything for them to. So the big thing that you guys should be doing now is trying to find a faculty mentor. So based on what thesis you want to do, what disciplines you want to focus on, you're going to select your faculty mentor. Now, we have made it abundantly clear to the faculty that they all need to be available to you. So don't feel any hesitation about approaching any of our faculty. Even if you haven't taken a class from them, if you haven't seen them in person, maybe you've only seen them in an online class, don't hesitate to ask. If you have an idea who you want your mentor to be, fantastic. If not, I'll give you some suggestions on who to contact based on the topics that we've explored together in the online environment. So the relationship between you and your mentor is, I'm going to be here for advice, but you're going to be working very closely with your mentor on your capstone project. They're the ones that are going to be looking through drafts. They're the ones that are going to be suggesting, well, why don't you explore this aspect of the argument? Why don't you try this? You need to pick a mentor, not just because you like them. You need to pick a mentor based on their area of expertise. If you want to do a capstone presentation on, let's say, economics, well, you'd probably go to Mr. Vasquez. But if you wanted to do a capstone project on, art or literature, he probably wouldn't be the best choice. So even though you might feel really close to a particular faculty, you need to pick them based on their area of expertise. And I assure you that all of our faculty are amazing. They'll do a great job. All right, so your mentor, their responsibility is to provide you timely feedback on your ideas, on your drafts, within reason. You and your mentor have to communicate regularly. You have to give them enough time to give you feedback. It goes both ways. Last year, we had a couple of candidates submit their drafts to their mentors, a day or two before the deadline, which isn't enough time to provide feedback. So between now and the capstone defense in March, you're going to have this back and forth between your mentor, really fine-tuning that manuscript. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you raised your hand. All right. Again, if you don't have a mentor in mind, I'll look at what your thesis is, and I'll give you a couple of people to contact. Your mentor isn't necessarily going to be at your home campus. They will be a subject area expert in whatever thesis you're trying to produce. It might not be someone that you've ever talked to before. It might not be someone that you've had a class with, but I assure you that they are all excellent.
She's not there?
So the proposal. So guys are taking the Introduction to Capstone course online, and the goal of this little 1-credit mini course is to get you to the proposal. It's to get you to turn in an excellent proposal by. So the proposal is a very brief, very succinct document in which you outline what your capstone project is going to be, ending with that clear, testable or contestable thesis statement. The proposal needs to be a minimum of 500 words, and it needs to be in APA style. Everything that you turn in during the capstone process, the proposal, the manuscript, everything needs to be in APA style. I know that in literature, we use MLA, but just for the sake of everything being uniform, we're using APA style across the board. The proposal must include scholarly references where appropriate. So even at the level of the proposal, we're still looking at you've done some research. All right. And all written documents, again, are in APA style. So your proposal is going to be reviewed by myself, as well as the academic dean and a minimum of 2 faculty members. Now those 2 faculty members, they are not going to be your mentor, they're going to be 2 other faculty mentors, and they're going to read your proposal, they're going to read your manuscript, and they're going to be at your defense. So they're sort of like they're a committee. So myself, the dean, and these 2 faculty members that will later be selected are going to follow your project as it evolves from proposal, manuscript, and oral defense. And ultimately, you're going to get feedback from us during these different stages of the process. Okay. The committee assesses the proposal, and either we accept it and we say, awesome, or we'll give you detailed feedback on how you need to change your thesis. Maybe we want you to add something, maybe we need you to narrow in on something more specific, so that before you start writing the long manuscript, you know what we're looking for. All right, so these are the proposal guidelines. I'm not going to go into each and every one of them. This is posted on the Schoology board, and it just details what I've said before, that you need to have 2 different disciplines integrated, that you need to have a groundbreaking or innovative component, and that it qualifies you for a 4-credit Doral College, 4 Doral College credits. Okay. So the manuscript. The manuscript is the long research paper that needs to accompany each and every capstone project. Whether you're doing something more traditional, like a scientific experiment, whether you're doing something with literature or the arts, everything needs to have this research component. The capstone manuscript is something that you need to be working on with your mentor over the duration of the semester. This is not, a one draft kind of deal. This is something that you're going to be going back and forth with your mentor, making edits over the course of the entire semester. It's to be in APA style, and there are certain requirements that it needs to meet. No personal stories, no anecdotes. It's not considered scholarly. I hate to say this sounds really mean, but science doesn't care about you. Science doesn't care about me. Science cares about data. Science cares about sources. Whenever you make a claim, you have to know. So no personal stories, no anecdotes. References are required to be peer-reviewed sources. This should go without saying, but I'm just going to say it again. Wikipedia is not a valid source. A television program from the History Channel is not a valid source. There are resources on the Schoology board from our excellent librarian to show you how to get these peer-reviewed journal articles that will be acceptable in this scholarly manuscript. References also have to be up to date. If you're using references from 20, 30 years ago, consider looking at what does the research say now? What is currently going on in the field? Maybe somebody already conducted that experiment. Now, if you're doing a capstone project that you're looking at historical documents, if you're looking at works of art, that's perfectly fine. But make sure you also include things that are more modern, things that are
The
up to
defense.
date. This is where people get a little bit anxious, and that's fine. That's completely normal. So during the oral defense, you are up here and you are defending your project. You are saying to the chair and the dean and your mentor and the faculty advisors that my capstone project is groundbreaking, it is innovative, it is substantive, and it is worthy of me to meet the graduation requirement. So no pressure, really. The oral defense is 10 minutes of you getting up here and presenting your spiel. Your capstone project should be something that you're very passionate about, and it should really kind of exude from you this passion that you have for this particular topic. The oral defense will be happening towards the end of March, and you will be assigned a date and a time. We do this just to make everything crystal clear so that we have everybody on board at the same time, so that we can do the logistics of having your mentor and the faculty advisors and everybody here to make the determination. All right. At the defense, the capstone committee, consisting of your mentor and the faculty chairs, decides whether or not the candidate has satisfied all of those requirements, and essentially let you know if you can graduate or not. So during the defense, you have 10 minutes for your spiel, and there's also a question and answer session afterwards, and you need to be prepared to answer any questions that arise from the faculty committee. Okay. Ultimately, it is the capstone committee that decides whether you meet the requirements or not. If you do not meet the requirements, there is time for you to make revisions, but that's not a position that you want to. Now, the candidate's grade for the course is ultimately decided by your individual mentor. And the exciting part, at graduation, one or more of the capstone projects are selected for a special